Hello everyone, my name is Danny Neifert. I am a licensed esthetician and I use a holistic process that returns our skin to a self-mending, self-purifying, and age-delaying state, which also gives clients a long-term solution to get rid of all of that gunk that gets trapped in our skin. And I'm the creator of Skin Harmonics, and today I want to talk about Bright. Bright is the name of the holistically active vitamin C powder that I sell, and I want to brag about it a bit because it is such an excellent vitamin C powder, so much so that the simplicity of it is often overlooked and dismissed. And I want to just highlight all of the reasons why Bright is, I think, the best vitamin C powder on the market. Now, when it comes to vitamin C, this is something that all skin benefits from if you're smart enough to just do it in the right way. Sometimes people overdo it. Sometimes people are using ineffectual ways of getting vitamin C into their skin. So I wanted to just go over all of the details that are involved with a vitamin C, and there are quite a few. But I want this to just build confidence and a sense of appreciation about what that little jar that lasts such a long time and is so dang affordable is all about, and why I made room for it in my skincare line. So the vitamin C is an antioxidant, and what it does so well is that it brightens our skin. It helps with hyperpigmentation. It helps with evening skin tone, and of course it minimizes sun damage. And the way to use Bright is that you mix it with Fortify, Feast, or Super Feast at night only. It is an active ingredient. Vitamin C is active when you get a good potent source like this is, and that's why we only ever do it at night. And the dose is anywhere between half a scoop to 2 scoops. Now, this is where you need to listen to your skin and maybe wiggle around a little bit to find just your own, your skin's threshold. And this is 1 to 3 times a week. Again, night only. And when you mix this in the palm of your hand, you're going to use extra Devote and or extra serum to make this little soup mixture in the palm of your hand kind of extra soupy. Our skin needs extra water when we use Bright so that it can be really wicked into our skin correctly with a substantial amount of water, which is necessary to get that wicking effect in through that top layer of our skin. And this fresh mixture is pleasantly active, which means it's almost subsensory, but you get a little bit of a zing from it. But that little zing, that pleasant zing, should not last longer than 20 or 30 minutes for sure. And we never want to force this, along with the dermal nutrients, into our skin. And this is all about finding that sweet spot, which requires deep listening because everybody's skin is different and there's a different threshold. So the Bright vitamin C powder, when it's used in this way, creates this extra zing, this extra glow. And then, of course, we put the moisturizer on top of it. And this, kind of just seals all the water in and creates and supports our skin's natural barrier function. And that's how to use Bright. And there are a lot of different ways. I just wanted to review a lot of different ways how vitamin C should not be used, which is vitamin C does not belong in a hydrating mist, and it doesn't belong in a moisturizer. And if you're seeing it on the shelves that way, it's because it's a nominal amount, and manufacturers just know that some people don't really know and will just buy a product based on vitamin C. And I've seen shampoo and conditioner with vitamin C in it as well, which vitamin C does nothing for our hair. But the point being is, don't get it in those two forms. And then also, I've seen plenty, and this is what dominates the market, is vitamin C serums. And the nature of vitamin C is that it oxidates. It's very volatile and it oxidates very easily. And so it must be stabilized with large amounts and extensive amounts of preservatives. And so what I see over and over again are vitamin C serums when people bring their bags of stuff in for me, or through Zoom or through an in-person session. The chemical cocktails that are happening with vitamin C is just not worth it. It's not worth it, and there's no reason to cocktail it like that anymore, because we can mix it fresh. The very moment we want to use it, it won't oxidate, and we don't have to subject our skin to all of those preservatives, which are so common and rampant in skincare. And the other thing about premixed vitamin C serums is that they're expensive, like really expensive. People will spend often way more on vitamin C serums than they will on dermal nutrients, because they just don't know any better, and they'll do that for years. So there's a lot of different reasons to only use Bright mixed with Fortify, Feast, or Super Feast. Bright does not mix with Balance, and because it's a chemical cocktail, it's not effective, and it's a completely unnecessary expense. And because Bright is so potent, it rarely can be used every day. And so sometimes people forget about it. So I want to remind you each to put this out on your counter, put it with your sets so that you can see it, so you can use it this 1 to 3 times a week. And I want to just reinforce as well that the dermal nutrients and, of course, the vitamin C is something that we just don't force onto our skin. We have to really listen to our skin. And the Bright powder at high doses, and when used with a lot of sun exposure, isn't a good mix. So if you go on vacation for a week or two, or hit the slopes for a week, if you have a big influx of your sun exposure, trim it down to maybe once a week at night, or just don't use it for the week or two that you're getting this extra sun exposure. I have some clients that get so much sun during the summer, they just don't use it at all. And that is the right choice, because it's so potent and stimulating for our skin. And too much of anything is going to always backfire. So I wanted to remind you each of that, and just that you needed to, if this is one of the things that'll happen if you use too much of it, you'll get some little red temporary bumps on your skin, which is your skin's way of just saying like too much. And so back off, take a break. But that's what you would run into. That means that you've crossed the line past that sweet spot we're trying to find. And so you don't want that, but that's what you need to look out for. And of course, as always, we're going for that, just that gentle feeling of having your skin stimulated, but not to the point where it makes it mad. And we're taking our skin from this state where it might be a little bored, a little stagnant, and we're adding just a little bit, but not so much that we're causing irritation. And so let's see, I think that's most of what I wanted to cover, bragging about Bright. And let's see. Maybe one final thing I'll touch on is about how natural skincare in general is often dismissed by many because it doesn't have the corrective power that trauma or acids might have. And I just actually don't believe that's true at all. And it's all about finding those really powerful holistic actives and staying, maybe not sure. Some things are gentle and they absolutely have their place, but there really is this new category of holistically active ingredients that are very powerful and should not be underestimated. And I think that's the power of nature when used and harnessed correctly, and not to underestimate just the genius of nature. Like, nature designed our skin in a certain way to be this permeable barrier where we let the good stuff in and our skin is able to push the bad stuff out. And by supporting our skin's natural release mechanism, but simultaneously knowing how to support our skin's ability to become the first line of defense in our immune systems, is crucial. And I think that's where a lot of people have gotten confused and off track around skin. Number one, objectifying it, but number two, failing to see this duality that our skin has, where it has to function as both. And that's something that Skin Harmonics does so well, is understanding that bigger picture and that nuance and what it takes to work with our skin and not against it. And that's something that Bright just falls into line with just so beautifully. And it's a really powerful way to give our skin a truly natural, truly potent element that helps so much with our skin. So I think that's my brag for now about Bright, this simple product, similar to Devote, so simple that it's often overlooked because the ingredient list isn't a chapter long, putting all of these hyped ingredients and adding complexity, and of course all the crazy preservatives that come with it. So in the meantime, use that vitamin C Bright well, use it right. Text me, email me, as always, if you have any questions. And when you're doing it right, when you're using that Bright powder right in combination with Super Feast, you can get this extra glow that's just quite extraordinary. So stay glowing.